Okay, for objective 2, we are going to discuss creating data sets. So you would notice that in the assignments that you did for A2, the different data sets that you guys saw had different variables that they were collecting. So the variables that they collect has a lot to do with what the question, the research question that they're trying to find out, what is the information that data set is they're hoping to get out of the data. So it's not going to be every variable that you're going to collect for every database, because you want to make sure that the variable that you're collecting is relevant to whatever it is that you're trying to find out. So let us say that what you are trying to find out is what is the nutritional condition of Hispanic families in Hammond. Let's say that is something that you're interested in finding out. And some of the variables that you can collect include the income of the family, household size, how many people live in the home, the number of children that live there, the number. Let's say you're interested in how much fruits that they are eating, and you're asking the number of fruits that that was eaten in the last 2 weeks. The number of meals that was made mostly of vegetables in the last 2 weeks. Whether anybody smokes or vapes in the family, what is the weight of the respondents in this case being the person that you're asking the question, the person who is supplying you with the information, and the age of the respondent, and their gender and the ethnicity, and then the number of how much miles they are to the nearest food shop. So these are a couple of questions that you can be asking. So, and you are in this case being the researcher who is collecting the data, and you're trying to put your data into Google Sheet. For the purpose of this course, we're going to use Google Sheet, and you're trying to enter your data that you're collecting into the Google Sheet that you would use for your research. So one of the things you need to decide is how many people can you ask these questions and collect information on. So most times it's not everybody that you ask questions that is going to give you an answer. So let's say if you want to collect information from 100 people, you are likely going to be asking questions from 200 people, just in case 50% of them refuse to give you an answer. And if you wanted like 40 people, you could ask a question from 100 or thereabout. But let's say for the purpose of this exercise that we're doing right now, I don't want to spend too much time on it. We're going to collect data from 20 people. That is the data that you're collecting from 20 people. So now I need to create a data set that gets all of these variables that I'm looking for. So some of the variables, as you can see, some of them are going to be numerical, like household size is going to be numerical. Income could either be numerical or it could be a range. You could group it in terms of from this income to this income, and from there to there. So you can put it in range. Questions like whether you smoke cigarettes or vapes, that is going to be a yes or no, or don't want to answer. Information questions on weight, this is going to be either going to be numerical, in which you're asking them from their precise age, weight, or you could be asking them based off on like a range, maybe 100 to 200 pounds, 200 pounds to 250. It all depends on how you want to go with, and then gender and everything. So but now with this variables that I've kind of come up with, let us create a data set for it. So let me Let me get that done and create a data set for that. All right, so this is the data set that I'm creating for this, and this is the same one that I used in first objective, and I just decided to put it in a separate sheet. And let me rename this to be, sorry, let me rename this as Hammond Hispanic. Let me just put it there, Hammond Hispanic, and everything. And the information that I'm trying to collect, if you remember, I'm trying to collect information on income, trying to collect information on the income of the family. Let's put it as household income. I'm sorry, let me put it here, household income. I'm trying to collect information on household size, household size. The other one is number of children, number of fruits eaten a day. Sorry, I'm just going to go in and copy from there, maybe easier than having to. So number of children that is given, number of fruits eaten in a day in 2 weeks, and that goes in there. Sorry. Meals with that mostly veggie in the last 2 weeks, put that there. And whether it's smoking cigarettes or vaping, that will also go there. Hold on, I need to wrap this so that it's easier for me to tell which one. Okay, so G now. So another information that I want is the weight of the respondent, and that goes here, and age of respondents. Okay, and gender of respondent. Ethnicity of respondent. And then finally, number of miles to the nearest food shop. And that's the last information that I'm trying to collect. So if you can notice, I left column A blank. The reason I left it blank is because I want to put in participant ID. The reason is because when you're collecting information for research, you're collecting it from people, you want to kind of protect their information. If you remember, when in module 1 we talked about protected health information, and all about trying to make sure that the information you're collecting from people has it in such a way that their privacy is still maintained. So you could use participant ID instead of their names, so that if anybody kind of stumbles upon your data sets, they cannot identify who the person is based on this, because all they have is an ID and they cannot say who is there. So that we have that. And let me format this table right now so that it looks a bit nice and clean. And let's use that, all borders. And I want to zhuzh this up a little bit just to give it a different color. And I want to put it in the center, and I want to centralize it, and just to design the table just a little bit. Let me change the fonts and change the size, and let me expand that a little bit. Sorry. Okay, I've expanded that a little bit. Let me do that as well for the, I want only 20 for the sake of this exercise, and let's stretch that out a little bit. No, it's a bit too much. All right. So we got it, we have it here. So let us use the participant ID. Let's just start. It could just be random numbers. These are nominal numbers. They don't mean anything. So it doesn't mean, like, let's use, for example, if I put 0001, that doesn't mean that 001, sorry, I have to format the cell so that it doesn't take it off. Sorry, I need to format it. Go to formats and tell it that this is a number, it's a plain number, so please don't treat it as a formula. This is a plain number, 0001. So I've told Excel to treat this as a plain number by going here and telling it, you know, to treat it as a plain number. Don't change anything about that. And so that is that. I usually like to keep things uniform, to use the same fonts that I'm using for everything. I might increase the header a little bit, but all the text I like to keep it the same. So let's put this. Now there's a way to do this, to kind of multiply the number so that it kind of fits in by dragging everything down. And once you drag it down, Excel or Google Sheet will kind of fill it up, you know, for you. Sorry, I just want it to be 20, not 21. So Control Delete Row. All right, so let me expand the size, make sure that is uniform roll. All right, the roll is uniform now. All right, so I have my participant ID number 1 to number 20. As you can see, I didn't have to type it out, I just had to, you know, fix it in. So household income, like I said, I could either use specific number here or I could use a range, but let's just say I decide to use a specific number here, and let's just put 34,000 and 46,000. I'm just putting in numbers here, so it doesn't mean anything. Sorry, I wanted to have so I go to format, number, and put it here so that it has the comma and the point. So I'm just, if this was a real data, I would be entering the specific information. Oh my goodness, what is rich people? If this was a real data, I would be using you know, specific numbers for it, but since this isn't it, I'm just using you know, arbitrary number now. I just want to fill up my data set. So this says this is, you know, all right, I am almost done with that. Wow, who are these rich people? Sorry. Okay, so let me just kind of do something that kind of makes a bit of sense. So I have all my 20 household income all filled out. Then household size, also, if this was a real data set, I would be filling in the precise number that they gave me, but for the sake of this exercise, I'm just putting in a arbitrary number here. So let's go with 5418. My goodness, anybody who is having this many kids, it's great. So when they say household size, it's not the number of children. Household size generally is looking at parents and children, or if they are dependents that live in the house as well, they are all part of the household size. So I'm just filling out numbers here. Let's put this one. number of children, as you could say, household size is, you know, different by the number of children. And let's put this as 2. As nope, that would be too much. Okay, let's put this as 0. 0 and 0, 0, 2, 2, 0, 5, 6, 1, 4, 1, 0, 3, 1, 0, 5, 1, 3, 2, and that's it. So I have the number of sizes and then number of fruits eaten in the last 2 weeks. And you know, again, arbitrary numbers. I'm just going to there are people who are very healthy and the people who are not so healthy, and there's possibly this couple of people that do not exist. 800, oh my god, 700. That would be mad. Okay, once again, I'm just putting in arbitrary numbers. If this was a real data, you would be putting in precisely the number that you are getting from the respondents. So I've entered the figure for that. Sorry, let me show you guys another thing that this can do. I want to freeze the panel so that I don't have to keep trying to remember which of the column that I am. To do that, I can go to view and I see freeze, and then I choose for it to freeze row 1. So when it does that, it means I can keep on scrolling up and down without this moving. I believe I can do the same as well with the column. Let's see, I can do column 1, and you can see I can move. Sorry, if I freeze the column, what happens is only the column stays and the row is not moving. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to go back to view and no column. I don't want to freeze in the column. I just want the row. Sorry, I don't want to freeze any column. I just want to freeze row 1. Okay, so now let's look at number of meals eating, that is mostly vegetable in the last. Let me expand this a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, so expanded it a bit so that everything is all showing. It's still wrapped, so it looks all nice and clean here. And I need to put this back. Okay, number of meals eating in the last 2 weeks. That would be a lot. Okay, I'm just going to put arbitrary numbers here. Oh my goodness, why? I can't remember how number of times people eat anymore, and how many times that would be if they were eating every day. Anyway, if these numbers don't make any sense to you, that's fine. I'm just, I'm just filling this out so that I can. We're going to use this data in the next in the third objective. That's why I'm creating this data set, because I want you guys to see how data set gets created. So now it says smoke, vape, or cigarette, and let's say the options are yes or no. We have yes, sorry, yes, 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 no, yes, no, yes, no. let's say the next couple of people all answered no. Instead of typing it out, I can just drag it down and it all fills out. And let's say there's a yes, and the next 5 people answered yes. Also drag it down, and then no, yes, no. So that's all filled out. And then weight of respondents, I can also go by exact number, or I could do a range. I want to use exact number in this case rather than range. So let's say, meanwhile, I need to specify that this is in pounds, because sometimes where I'm from we say kilogram, but you know, just trying to specify that this means in grams. It can be important to put this figure in case you are dealing with international audience, because if you just leave it without specifying that, somebody might think you are, you know, the figure that you're giving is in kilogram. Meanwhile, we were thinking pounds. So it's always important to specify that so that the person knows which metrics that you're using for your numbers. All right, so now let's say for age of respondents, I want to make it a range instead of precise number. So I'm going to go in 5 years, let's say 20 to 25, 30 to 26 to 30. And so let's use the first one, 20 to 25, and 34 to 40. And this is a 26 to 30, and this is a 44 to 50, and this is a 30 to 34, and 20 to 25, and 40 to 45, 44 rather, and 30 to 34. And I'm just trying to fill it all out. That's 20 to 25, 34 to 40, 40 to 44. It's done. 30 to 34, 50 to 54, 54 actually, 20 to 25, 34 to 40, 26 to 30, 29, 30 to 34, and 40 to 44. Okay, one more, 20 to 25, and 44 to 50. All right, so we have all the respondents all filled out. Gender is usually male or female. It's usually how it's used. So I'm going to use M for male, and sorry, M for male, F for female, M for male. I can also do the same thing that I did with that by dragging down that, so that this way it also, you know, just in case I don't want to have to type in everything, I just have to drag it down. Oh, sorry. All right, so I have just 2 more variables to fill out: ethnicity and let's say for the ethnicity, I want to choose to Hispanic, non-Hispanic. So this would be Hispanic, Hispanic, non-Hispanic. You will notice that there's something Google does. Once you've typed in something, it recognizes it and tries to fill it out for you so that you don't have to type everything out yourself every time. You can also drag down if you want, and also drag it down. So now number of miles from nearest food, I can also use figures. I want precise number rather than a range. So let's just if you drag this, it will give you 45. If you drag it, it will give you 45. So you can drag it. Some of the times when you drag, it will add numbers to it. So when you're dragging down, especially with numbers, try to be careful to be sure what it is doing for you, whether it is adding up the numbers for you or it is just giving you the exact same thing. So that is that for creating a data set. So I hope you guys kind of have a sense of how it is to create a data set. This becomes a data set right now that I can use for analysis and for presentation. I'm going to use these data sets for the third objective. All right, to have a lovely day. Bye.